us to our next segment. Verdict, Karmelo Anthony verdict, and the beheading in Belfast. So we're going to be talking about that, and we got some clips here, some news reports, and heed that graphic warning. I don't know how much I can get away with showing this or not showing it, but let's get into it. Yeah, welcome back to another Friday night deep dive. My name is Eric, and we're live here on YouTube and Kick. So tonight we're going to be looking at, we're going to be breaking down the North Belfast knife attack. You've ever heard that, the attempted beheading, and Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf verdict. Of course, as always, the facts first. Then we go through the radical objectivist, algorist, and anarcho-capitalist analysis. And don't forget the links are to the sources, and the new clips and the references will be all in the description box and pinned comments, whatever. Drop your thoughts in the chat as we go along here. So let me give you a little breakdown in case you haven't heard before we show clips. As you can see, I got my list of clips here from the first part is the Belfast clips, and then it would be the Anthony, the Metcalf verdict there with some, I got some Ayn Rand quotes down here, and we talk a little bit maybe about the non-aggression principle just in case. And we got links to the Mises Institute too. Okay, and then these links should be available in the description box. So, in North Belfast, so what happened? You've heard about the incident there, and of course you've heard about the riots that have been going on there, and you hear about Connor Stommer, Herr Stommer, cracking down on social networking posts, censoring that. Anyone that shares any videos or says anything about the immigration policy going on in the UK, they'll show up to your house. So that's they're pretty screwed up over there in the UK. So North Belfast incident that happened on June 8th, 9th. A Sudanese man in around his 30s, he granted leave to remain after entering via Paris, Dublin, Belfast in 2023. Okay, this is a couple of years ago. He was charged with attempted murder. Sounds like a great guy. Yeah. The video shows, in case you haven't seen it, shows him stabbing the victim, a man about in his 40s, and slashing at the head and neck and face in what appeared to be a decapitation attempt. The bystanders did intervene, one with a big stick, and of course the victim was hospitalized in serious condition. I think he's still in serious condition, but this isn't treated as a terrorist act. Can you believe that? So, now let me go into a little deeper dive in that before I go and look at some of these, the first one, the BBC one. So, in the Metcalf stabbing, we'll get to that here. Okay, so my analysis always is through radical objectivist, agorist, anarcho-capitalist lens. So let me remind you of the core principles again. Objectivism, Randian, closed objectivism or open objectivism, primacy of reason, objective reality over emotion, collectivism or mysticism. Individuals are ends in themselves with rights to life, liberty, and property derived from rational self-interest. Force is only justified in retaliation or defense. Altruism, collectivism, including racial or statist group thinking, this is how this relates here to this story, is immoral. Government should be minimal or non-existent. Night watchmen stay at the most. That's Randian. She believed in a night watchman. I don't. Agorist emphasize rule-based, logical consistency, counter-economics, clear, compatible principles applied with bias, without bias or exception. Violence or rights violations trigger predictable consequences. Okay, restitution, ostracism, and defense force. And of course, anarcho-capitalism, Rothbardian, Mises extension. No monopoly state, all services, defense, justice, borders, immigration, including immigration via private property, voluntary contracts, and market competition. Immigration is a property right issue. Some people argue, like Mintus Wave does. Owners decide entry. Well, you can privatize it. That's Hoppian. He liked to privatize immigration. course, my solution is to abolish the welfare state. That would have solved this problem here. Crime stems from individual agency and failure of incentives and deterrence. The state often exacerbates problems via welfare, that you abolish the welfare state, distorted incentives, and monopoly justice. So, seeing through this lens here, the Belfast attack deep dive. So, facts, objective reality. This was a clear initiation of lethal force by an individual with a migration history enabled by state policies, a silent system, porous common travel area. The graphic nature, sustained neck head slashing, indicates extreme intent to kill, not a dispute or mental health episode alone. Bystander intervention highlights private defense in action. There you go. Okay. Philosophical lens here. The attacker violated the victim's right to life, of course, the fundamental objectivist sin. In anarcho-capitalism, this demands full restitution, impossible for murderer attempt, via private arbitration insurance, possible ostracism, or defensive elimination. Yeah, just remove him from society. Leave him out in the woods to defend himself against the bears or the wolves. The state's role in importing, and don't forget restitution too. That's agorist theory. We believe in a form of restitution. So importing, selecting low-skill asylum migrants without owner consent, that's an important one, or rigorous vetting creates negative externalities, crime risks, cultural clashes. Socialized onto taxpayers, of course, always steal from us, and residents. Agorist view, state migration, you're talking about algorithms, fail basic risk filters, Sudan's instability, and integration metrics. Now this brings us to legacy media. And you'll see BBC, and this will fit in right into what we're talking about here. Legacy media often downplayed as stabbing or brutal assault, while emphasizing appeals for calm, warning against far-right backlash, the standard script. Some initially hedged on nationality, right reported basic facts, victim injuries and police responses, condemned the violence. Wrong minimized the beheading aspect and migration context, of course, always because they don't want to admit that their immigration policy sucks. Framed protests primarily as problematic unrest rather than legitimate property safety agreements. Of course, you want to contrast that with the Pink Floyd, George Floyd, whatever that idiot's name was. They contrast that with how the police and how the state responded to that, or lack of response. Or in this case, Stommer took a knee for the Floyd, all the Floyd disaster that was going on 2020 and 2021. The media frames protests as primarily as problematic unrest rather than legitimate property safety grievances. Ignored patterns of migration crime. Don't forget the grooming gangs. I have to say grooming because we don't say graping. The Muslim graping gangs. Ignore patterns of migrant crime stats in Europe. Yeah, they down higher violent offending in some cohorts. Per objective data from sources like Swedish or UK ministry stats, though causation includes selection. And selection, cultural welfare. Okay, so public, here we go, media, social media reactions. Now, you can take a look on X on that. Outrage, of course, calls for deportation, protest, riots, torch vehicles, of course. Right, highlighted the video's horror, migration failures, and right to self-defense protests. Yeah, they don't have self-defense there in the UK. Expose state incompetence. Yep, they won't admit mistake. Wrong, some descended into collective racial blame. All Africans instead of individualism. Vigilante property destruction violates an NAP, non-aggression principle, and risks innocence, undermining moral high ground. Emotional riots, reason demands for policy change, private solutions. Okay, so let's take a look how the BBC handled it, and did it handle it just like I just said. Here's the news. So we do control click. Let's open that up. What do we got here? Okay, so violence in Belfast and Trump's war words. See, always, always. Somehow it's his fault. I don't know how. They never want to accept the blame for their shitty immigration policies. Okay, so many of the front pages carry free frame from graphic video No, many front pages. Even we will see here show videos of it. Monday night's attack on Belfast. Guardian leads on the disorder in the city, saying violence erupted after what it calls agitators, including Tommy Robinson and Elon Musk, extorting people to take to the streets. So that was okay in George Floyd. They're perfectly okay with that. That was for a good cause. Take to the streets, burn it down, cause tens of millions of damage. We know all that. We know the hypocrisy. Do we have to repeat it again? Let's see. That's how the Guardian. How's the Daily Telegraph says it? A WhatsApp app message that was forwarded many times predicted a mad day in Belfast and urged men age 18 and over to wear dark clothing and be prepared to fight or be arrested. The people should never fear the government. The hell with the UK government. I would hope these people actually do more because they have a right to self-defense. The government has no right to self-defense because they caused this. They did this forced integration without the consent of anybody. So this government and the police that work for their government have no right to self-defense. Let these people burn it down. Their government certainly deserves it, especially the last 40 years, what they did to their own people. The iPaper highlights pleas from the police for calm. Says there are fears of further disorder. I hope so. Many of the papers focus on the suspect, of course, who police said is Sanity's right. He's a murderer. We already covered that he was that. The Daily Mail says Britain has a gaping back door, raising grave questions. The Mail's leader column urges the government to face up to what the paper calls the migrant threat. It's not just a migrant threat, it's immigration failure. It's forced integration. It's done through government force. But these are just the different headlines and their different takes on it. Of course, they're going to be kind of milquetoast. There might be some leftist views. They're going to defend the criminal, or they're going to be on the right and they're just going to say, yeah, we'll take the streets. Let's see. Now, the Times believes that there will be renewed scrutiny of the common travel area, which allows for the free movement of people between the UK and Ireland after police said they believe the suspect had traveled from Dublin to Belfast by bus before claiming asylum. He's a murderer. Okay, so that's kind of the in-betweeners take on it. Renewed scrutiny. That's all they're going to do. They'll never put the blame on the government of causing this. They caused this whole situation. They covered up the Muslim graping gangs. They've been going on for 30 years. The Daily Express praises those who sought to intervene in the stabbing, calling them the very best of humanity. All right. Hey, at least they try to do something. The Daily Mirror reports that a fundraising campaign has begun to buy a pint for a man who arrived at the scene with a hurling stick. All right. Matt McKernan is quoted in The Sun saying, instinct took over, and most people would have done the same. Of course. The Daily Telegraph interprets comments by Rachel Reeves at the conference yesterday as a signal that in order to pay for higher defense spending, taxes will need, again, adding to the problem, stealing more of our money and paying for it and making it worse. I thought you're supposed to let the people decide. Isn't it we the people, right? According to the Constitution, which I really think is just a worthless piece of toilet paper at this point. So watered down. But they're going to increase the spending. That's going to solve the problem. Again, just idiocy, sheer idiocy. This is not going to solve the problem, just make it worse. The Chancellor is said to have told investors gathering that despite the pain of higher taxes, oh, don't worry, your sacrifice was not in vain. Better to do that than to get into a situation where we were before with interest rates climbing. What the hell's the difference? So we'll just tax more. What is that Herr Starmer, the head of the Einsatzgruppen? The Prime Minister, Sir, take that away from him. You never noticed that Herr Starmer looks like a dullard? He looks like Ceausescu. Hope he gets the same treatment as Ceausescu did, too. He's a horrible Prime Minister. Herr Starmer is preparing to announce the extra defense funding. So you spend more of our money so that they can kill us. That's what they're doing. They're going to increase taxes, take more of our money, and use it against us. Use it against their own citizens that are rightly upset and doing protesting and burning things down. And they're going to use force against them. We've seen the force already on X. So there's related links all down there. So that's basically the gist of everything. Like I said, it was just sort of a mixed bag of yes, no, maybe kind of shit. All right, now let's see what CBS News reports. See if it's what I thought. Look how they frame it too. Oopsie. Okay. So look how they frame it here in CBS. Look how they put on here. Look what they put on the. Can you see this? Ireland stabbing far right calls anti-immigration protest. So already they're poisoning the well. Already off to a bad start. Brutal stabbing attack in Belfast sparks calls for anti-immigration protests in Northern. So, did you? What was your take on the George Floyd thing there, CBS? Did you approve of all the terrorist acts, the chop zones? I bet you didn't frame it as a far left anti-government protest. I'm sorry, Oh, how about this one? And look how they juxtapose this with this video here, this old boomer lady. Thousands in London march and rally organized by far-right activists. They're people. They're not far-right. Just because they disagree with your progressive, shitty policies doesn't mean they're far-right. Okay? It doesn't mean they're bad people. It means these people are pissed. The people who get pissed, they've had just about enough. They're not far-right. They're just everybody. But they want to poison the well. That if you agree with these people, you must be one of those far-right people. So this is just this typical what they do here, and we know this already. Let's see. We already know what Herr Stammer, the Chancellor of UK, has said about it. Northern Ireland police said Tuesday that they detained a man over what British Prime Minister Herr Stammer banned as sickening stabbing against attack in Belfast. Oh, okay. But you took a knee for Floyd, though. Graphic video of the incident was shared online by figures of the far-right British politics. Sounds terrible. Oh, my God. How dare those evil far-right people who have called for mass anti-immigration protests. Now, did you call them far left when they were burning down cities and blue states and blue districts and red states during the Floyd protests? Did you call them far left? Well, you know what the headlines were. Mostly fiery, mostly peaceful. They downplayed the thing, right? Here's the opposite here. They're more than quick to put a label on it. Slap a label on that thing. Call it a far-right British politics. Who called for mass anti-immigration. They're against forced integration. That's what it is. That's what these immigration policies are. They're done through force. No one consented to this. Nobody did. They don't frame it that way. The police service of Northern Ireland identified the suspect as a Sudanese man in his 30s. After initially saying he was believed to be Somalian, the police said a kitchen knife was found at the scene. Believed. Said they believe. Okay. Video posted online shows a man straddling another man lying in the street. He stabbed his eyes, slashing him several times in the head, neck, and the neck with the knife in what appears to have been an attempted beheading. Several people are seen intervening, tackling the perpetrator as police officers arrive. Oh, all hail the state police! They saved the day. The bystanders intervene. Calls for, and here's where they poison the well. Calls for demonstrations across Northern Ireland on Tuesday evening quickly gained steam online. No shit. No kidding. Really? Oh, but the George Floyd thing, that's okay. That's for a good cause. Numerous social media accounts urge people to come out and protesting. Yeah. And numerous high-profile politicians during George Floyd encouraged more trouble. Beautiful trouble. Remember what Kamala Harris said on Stephen Colbert radio show. Interview. She specifically said, go out and do more. Don't stop. Even Maxine Waters, high-profile AAA politicians are saying, go out there and destroy more. Oh, but some people online, numerous accounts, just a couple, Yeah, I like how they downplay that. Social media accounts urge people to come out and protest. Yeah, let's take a look at what Kamala Harris said about that beautiful trouble. Hundreds of protesters, mini-mass, began gathering at various locations in Belfast Tuesday night. Some torched a bus, other vehicles, and blocked roads. Go for it. Abolish the government. It's their fault. Smoke rose from different parts of the city, which was being overflown by police helicopters, according to, here they come to save the day, the state police. Northern Irish police and British authorities had early issued repeated calls for calm. You think the British people, Irish people are calm? All the stuff they've been through over the last 30 years, you think they're going to be calm? Nope. The stabbing came a year after racially motivated riots rocked Northern Ireland following a sexual assault, a grape, and a week after far-right led protests over the way police responded to a young white student who had been fatally stabbed by a Sikh man, unless they put British in front of him, in southern England. Oh, wait a minute. Who was that student that was fatally stabbed? Notice how they didn't mention his name. Well, isn't that special? What was his name? Oh, that Henry Hawk. Yes, he was stabbed to death by a Sikh man who was found guilty. And now he's serving, life sentence or something? Yeah, they don't mention the guy's name, but they want you to click on the linky. Here's what Stalmer, here comes Ceausescu, the big dullard prime minister of the UK. Stalmer called Monday's attack in Belfast horrific and sickening. Okay. I have absolutely no tolerance for abhorrent scenes of violence like these on our streets. Which ones? My thoughts are first foremost with the victim. Who was the victim there? The Somalian man or whatever, the Sudanese man? I think the first responders, including members of the public, who intervened. Wait a minute. The first responders were people of the public, including members of the public? No, the members of the public were the first to respond. The police came later. What a liar. Twisting the words. Oh, don't forget this. Police say no info yet on suggest terrorism. Oh, yeah, we don't know anything yet. Sure, right. Yeah. So, the Northern Ireland police said the suspect in the Belfast stabbing was detained on suspicion of attempted murder. The victim, a man in his 40s, was in serious condition in local hospital after sustaining serious slash wounds in his face. Now they mention the eyes, necks, and back. Assistant Chief Constable, Chief Inspector Jacques Rousseau, said PSNI had declared the deeply concerning assault. Oh, wow, I'm so glad you pondered that one. Did you assess that one? Deeply concerning assault? Yet, immediately after George Floyd thing, they declared that a murder. Right out, boom. George Floyd murder, boom. Oh, but this one's deeply concerning. I could imagine him putting his finger under his chin, like he's really pondering that one. We have commenced an investigation. Oh, yes, you're still collating, aren't you, Ash? To establish a motive, he said, adding that the brutal attack will have sent shockwaves to community, causing real concern. Not the first one, your immigration policies that suck, forced integration, which sucks. Oh, that's not the real concern. We're going to focus on the possible shockwaves. At this stage, we have no information to suggest that this was a terrorist-related incident. Really now? You still collating, Ash? Yeah, why don't you just go away, Constable? Do what you do best, nothing. Henderson said he stressed that the investigation was just beginning. However, oh, I'm so glad. Thank you. I'm so glad that you're here to help us. You know, even though you represent the state, you represent the state's religion. I'm so glad you're here to help us for that. Thank you so much, jackass. Oh, and here's the other one. Pleas for calm. Nothing to see here. Is police aware of calls of mass protests? No, don't do that. Only the Floyd Rose one. The leaders of Northern Ireland's 5 main political parties, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can count, issued a joint statement condemning the attack, saying, there's no place in our society for this kind of brutality. Oh, but you're still gonna stand by your immigration failures, policy failures. Not gonna abolish that, huh? We call for calm. Did you call for calm during George Floyd thing? No. For space to allow justice to take its course. Oh, did you say that about... You immediately declared that was a murder. Right out of the gate, the George Floyd thing, you said murder. Murder? You said murder? The political leaders and the police urge people to not to share the video tag. How about you go sod off, you twat? They shared the video and they're going to keep sharing it, saying its graphic nature would only serve to re-traumatize those involved. Did you say that about the George Floyd video? No, you kept sharing that thing. You're okay with that. Gavin Robinson, a member of the British Parliament from the pro-UK Democratic Unionist Party, said in Parliament that the suspect was in the UK on a 5-year visa. And so what? What does that do anything? I don't care if he's in there. 5-year visa, so what? He tried to cut someone's head off. What occurred last night will have profound implications for the community cohesion in this country. Well, there is no cohesion. It's gone now, Robinson said, urging the government to recognize the uncontrolled immigration need to end. Recognize the uncontrolled immigration needs to end. Well, you should have never put that in the first place. Forced integration. They won't abolish that. They'll say stuff like this, uncontrolled immigration. That's all they'll say. They won't do anything about it. Henderson said he was aware of speculation in relation to the suspect's immigration status. Okay, now you're starting to lose my interest here because that has nothing to do with it anymore. What he did was horrible, and he'll probably get a life sentence. Maybe. We'll see. Adding that he had spoken with colleagues. Oh, yes, he's still collating from the UK Home Office, and his understanding was that the individual was given leave to remain in Northern Ireland. So what? So what? He shouldn't have been there in the first place. You know, if you privatize immigration, first, if you abolish the welfare state, privatize the immigration, then each individual person in the UK can invite whoever they like into the country. They can vet the person, and they can spend their own money and resources to invite the person and help the person and bring up a contract that both can agree on, and the immigrant and the people that want to help the immigrant in the country, they can sign the contract. And if he breaches the contract, they can kick him out. There, we don't need government. You don't need government for this. You can easily solve this, but they want to do it with more government spending, more government authoritarianism. That's their solution always. He said the Home Office would be confirming the exact details. He's still collating, Ash, in the coming days, and that he understood the individual came to Northern Ireland from Dublin. Ireland, oh, that's right. He kept hopping. That was the thing. He kept hopping from one country to another. He was country hopping before gaining permission to remain in the semi-autonomous UK region. Okay, UK authorities have not yet confirmed the suspect's immigration status. Why do you keep saying that? You just confirmed it, didn't you? You just said he was country hopping. I don't get it. Why do I care if you're confirming his status? What does it have to do with the people, with the fact that you passed this policy and it's wrecking your own country by doing this? I don't get it. Immigration has become a fiercely contested issue in British politics. No, really? Widespread anger over perceived lack of control over who is able to enter and remain in the UK and how immigrants and longtime residents are treated by authorities, the government, has helped fuel a rise of anti-immigration parties in the polls. Yeah, and are they wrong? You didn't say they were wrong about that. You never said they're wrong. Are they wrong? But will there be a solution? I haven't heard a solution. I haven't heard any real solution from these assholes. Leading far-right figures in Britain, including anti-immigration activist Stephen Yaxley Lennon, who uses the name Tommy Oh, thanks for sharing his real name. Oh, you found him out. Oh, he's done for. We know his real name, Stephen, or Stefan, were among those to circulate the video. So what? It was going to get circulated. It doesn't matter who circulated. It was going to get circulated anyway. This is irrelevant. Some accounts posted locations for protests planned. Well, I hope so. I hope so. Henderson, the deputy police sheriff, is still collating, said he was aware of calls this evening for protest activity across Ireland. I understand that last night's attempted murder, the George Floyd thing, definitely a murder. This one is attempted murder, and they're still collating the information. Will leave people feeling a rage of emotions. Kind of like the Floyd thing, huh? From fear to anger. No kidding. He said, adding an appeal for calm. How about you go sawed off, you twat? Okay, let's finish up here. Northern Ireland saw more than a week of riots and disorder last June after two Romanian teenagers were charged with attempted grape of a schoolgirl in Ballymena, northwest of Belfast. See, they got problems there. They don't want to address the elephant in the room. You've got problems. You forced this on your own people. Okay, that violates the non-aggression principle. Those charges were later dropped. Oh, I'm so relieved now. How's the girl doing? With prosecutors citing a lack of evidence. But anti-immigrant violence has already spread to over, you gotta make it sound evil. Anti-immigrant violence. How about just anti-government violence? With dozens of houses attacked, some residents opting to display "locals live here" sign in windows, and see, they don't address the problem. Again, it's the typical of these kind of news stories here. The way they report the news is like the immigration. It's the problem of the government. They passed this law. Here's a YouTube video. Do I want to click on it?
Every mosquito in the room flies straight into this lamp.
Oh, Skippy. No, thanks. What is this guy?
Correspondent and Chris Page, our correspondent in Belfast, about the stabbing attack that happened in that city.
Okay, this is a long video. It's like 30 minutes.
On Monday night, there is a man in hospital in his 40s with serious injuries. There is a Sudanese man in his 30s in police custody, and the police not looking for anyone else in connection to this case.
Yeah, we know this already.
We finished recording with Joe and Chris. We then got the news conference in Stormont from the leaders of Northern Ireland and the head of the police service of Northern Ireland, where we got a few more details. The main one being that the suspect travelled to Ireland from Paris and then
So they know his immigration status then. They know he was country hopping. They know this. So they pretend, we don't know what his immigration status is. Yeah, you do.
travelled from Dublin to Northern Ireland, where he then claimed asylum and was granted leave to remain in the UK in 2023.
See, if you privatized it and you left it up to like a family, like a husband and wife, maybe their kids have left the home, they graduated college, they're all doing their own life, and this family would like to say adopt immigrant. They can invite this person into their house, and they both sign a contract to agree, and this couple will just pay out of their own pocket and their own resources for this immigrant. Why make the whole country suffer? Why subjugate the entire country under this government subjugation? Why? It doesn't help it. It makes it worse. Why do that? Because no one asked for it. We didn't consent to that. It's so much easier just to say, okay, you want some people from other countries to come here. Okay, citizen, you choose the immigrants you want to bring in here, and you pay for that yourself. Why you tax us? You take our money, and then you use that money against us when we protest. When you protest, you tell us to be quiet. Don't protest, even though it's our fault. Even though it's the criminal organization government's fault. Don't protest, even though we took your money, and we're going to use that money against you if you protest. We're going to send in the tanks that we spent your money to pay for. But keep believing that this will work someday. Keep believing that this way of doing things through coercion and extortion and money laundering and force and aggression, keep believing that this is going to work on your citizens. But apparently the citizens like it because they keep voting for this garbage. They think the government's going to solve this by just spending more money.
So that is some extra detail that we didn't have when I got the backgrounds to this.
Okay, what does that have to do with really anything? I don't understand. And here's the thing.
Very seriously indeed. The investigation is taking shape, and also, of course,
Notice, like I said, notice how they talk about how they're collating. The investigation, presumption of innocence. But with the Floyd thing, like I said for the 100th time, they immediately murder. like that. Murder. It was murder. But not this, though. We're collating. We're still assessing the situation. We're gathering information. Please remain calm. That's not what you guys said during the Floyd thing. You said the opposite. You were inciting more violence. This is not a shock. This is not coming somewhere out of the blue. This has been happening for decades in the UK. And even in Italy, too. Italy had something going on there, too, recently. This has been happening for a long time. This isn't just something just happening out of nowhere. This is, like I said, the fault of the government's policy, and they're not going to take the blame for it. They're a bunch of sociopaths. Yeah, like Kamala Harris did. I'm going to say that one again, too. Go watch the Stephen Colbert interview, guys. She didn't ask for calm. She said, keep going. Don't stop. Beautiful trouble. By the, let me guess, drum roll please, by the far-right agitator, Stephen, a.k.a. Tommy Robinson. Let me guess how he's going to frame it. Oh, they're going to tell people what to do. You just stole the people's money. You spent their money to implement this forced integration. Now it's backfired. It isn't working like it's planned. And now you're now this? Yeah, sure, right. Why are you doing this? You know, because they don't want people to see that their immigration policy has failed. Oh, right. Kind of the George Floyd thing. Don't share that video. Did anybody say that? They shared that video as fast as you can say flies to meat. That's just boilerplate answers. You know what he reminds me of, this guy? This Slime. That character in Aliens. Who was that guy? The Paul, not Ryzen. What the heck is his name? Reiner, I think that's, I can't remember his name. Yeah, he reminds me of him. Come on, Ripley, just don't want to do anything rash. You know, don't, you know, you might wreck the investigation. They all sound like this. And this guy's not even a CEO of a corporation. He's part of the government. He's the problem. And they're sharing it. And don't stop sharing it. Because they don't want you to expose the government's failure. You know, that's why they're saying not to disseminate this information. Because they don't want you to show the government's failure. Kind of looks like Paul Reiser. Sounds like him too. Little slime grease ball.
The police are maintaining a presence here. The police cordon is still up outside a block of apartments. The attack happened just outside there, about 10:30 last
Yeah, can we?
night. Really, in what looks like a cul-de-sac.
Let me see Westminster. Clarity on the nationality. They were really quick with the George Floyd thing to say a white man was out to kill a black man that day. They were really quick to do that. They didn't. I said, well, we need to wait to see what the nationality of the policeman was. They didn't say that. But since the victim was white and they're perceived as part of the problem, right? no, they can say it like this. They can downplay it completely. Of course. That's more of the same what we've already read already. Let's see, let's go on. Parallels. Yeah, notice they don't compare it to the Floyd thing as parallels. The reaction of the media and the politicians. Let's see. Well, I mean, they went out and rioted, which was good. Okay, let's keep hearing a little more. Again, so far, I'm like 10 minutes in here, and they haven't addressed the elephant in the room. Bad government policy. And the fact that a welfare state exists. What causes these kinds of problems. They don't mention those ever in this. They just distract you with, well, what was the guy's immigration status? How does this compare to the other riots that happened? Why? Let's see. Okay, we've kind of rehashed this. They're just saying exactly. Okay, now they're going to mention Elon Musk and space. Yeah, that's what it is when you have a business. It's called taking risks. When you ever start a business, it's risk taking. What's wrong with that? And what does it have to do with what does it have to do with I don't know what it has to do with this beheading. I don't get it. Again, this is more just distraction. This is typical distraction from the real problem. They don't want you talking about what caused it.
And we can talk about the reality or otherwise of the realisticness of those visions in a second. But just in terms of how an IPO works, what's actually happening here?
So up to now, only a few individuals, including some very
deep-pocketed institutions. Yeah, so? Yeah, what an individual will see the value in this company and the utility in this company. That's what he's trying to say, but he won't say it that way. But that's what people do. That's why they would buy stock or a piece of that company, because they see a value in it. They use their own value judgment, their own rational thinking, their own reasoning, and they determine, this is good. This is some good stuff. I like this. And the person will buy shares. That's what it is.
And so you offer a chunk, a little bit, about 5% of the company, to the general public, the likes of you and me, and people watching, saying, would you like to come and own a piece of this?
Yeah, because they see a value in the company and what they're producing. The one person, that's the individual, not the collective.
And so they're only selling a bit of the company, but based on the price of
Yeah, they have a right to do that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
that bit of the company, you can get it. You can extrapolate what the whole company is worth. What we know
Really?
is that they're trying to get a price of $1.75 trillion.
Yeah, okay.
Biggest IPO.
You do whatever you want. That's fine. Good luck to you. Hope he makes $10 zillion. If they put it all together, fine. And he'll build this Mars colony, maybe on the moon too. Only? I mean, that's a lot of money. And I'm glad. I hope he's raising more. Keep going. There'll be more billionaires than trillionaires later in the future, too. There'll be a lot more. So I don't know what... I have no idea what this has to do with this... I also have it... They call it a knife attack here in the title instead of a beheading. Hold on. Okay. All companies do this. All corporations will do this. They don't just make one product. They can make a whole bunch of products. I mean, take like General Mills. They make like 30 different kinds of cereals. So what? What does that have to do with anything? They're going to focus on other things because they all use resources they all use scarce resources that have alternative uses. So of course they're going to develop. I mean, Asahi company in Japan, they don't just make car oil. They also produce car oil. They also produce drinks, beers, lots of stuff, even Coca-Cola. So what does that have to do? Of course, companies are going to do. That's fine. They produce a lot, and there's even within the own corporation, they're competing organizations within the corporation. Gee, is this supposed to be a problem? I don't get it. Well, it's not just that, but it's also the rockets, because everything they produce, they're also producing other things, and from it, because they have to get the resources, the materials, and they have to hire the people to build it. So I don't know what this guy's thinking about. Why? I don't know what this has to do with the beheading. So what? That'll create a lot of jobs. That's the bit that I'm not sure where this guy's going with this, but that's the bit Musk or other people like that produce things. They create things. They are a creative minority. They represent a creative minority who create something, and then they share that creation with others, and other people are now raised to the same level of the minority creator. Their knowledge, their creativity, their intelligence gets raised, because it's like studying. Okay, a better example is like studying a Beethoven symphony, right? Beethoven releases a symphony number 5, out to the public. It's for sale through a certain publishing company, and then other conductors or other musicians will buy this music, study it. They'll understand it, and now they understand what Beethoven was trying to do with Symphony Number 5, and now they understand it, and their intelligence improves. They go up, because that's what free market is. The best educator. It educates people, and it raises their intelligence by creating something new, innovative, different, and that raises everyone's intelligence, and it even raises the communities too around it. It has the rippling effect. It was a car company first. Then he started developing the rockets, and now it's AI. So they do a lot of different things, not just one thing. I don't know what this had to do with the stabbing. Excuse me. That's not true.
Well, he's saying, I mean, remember the data centers that go power AR have got some physical constraints they require.
This guy. I'm trying to figure out what this has to do with the beheading. I have no idea what it has to do with the beheading. You lost me there. Let's see. Let's go to something. Resident reaction video. Okay, let's look at some of that. I don't need to see the Belfast map. You can look that up yourselves. I watched enough of that. That just had nothing to do with this, with the beheading. I don't understand what that had to do with it. So let's read some of the reaction. Oh no. Let me see. I hope it's nothing bad. I hope it's nothing bad. I hope they don't show anything. I don't have any links to that video, but you can find the link. You can find those that video anywhere. I'm not going to show it. If I do, I blur it out. This is a long ad. So let's see what the citizens' reaction are. Let's see. Let's see some of that. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't really hear that. I had the volume. Careful. Yeah. What? Oh no. It's hard to understand what she's saying. Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? He hasn't stopped crying all night. He didn't see nothing, but he knows the seriousness of it.
Okay, I need a transcript of that. That's it? Resident, just one? Speaks of fear. What do you mean? Read more here. Oh yeah, there's the, okay. Okay, man arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after, like I said, remember what they did about Floyd. They said he was murdered right away. But this guy's suspicion of attempted murder. Now I wanted to see what the, oh, okay. I don't know if I want to see that. Yeah, I'm not gonna click on that to see. You can watch that anytime, but this is the story, and people have been circulating this story on X. Appalling attempted murder, knife attack. They praised local residents for their actions, which they said saved the man's life. Yeah. So yeah, we knew that already. Now where was the reaction? I don't care. The suspect. What else has the police? I don't care what the police say anymore. 99. Okay, this guy called. Okay, yeah. Shaken on the phone. The police. Let's say she said a delivery driver handed his phone to her so she can talk to 999. I said you just need to get there. He's gonna die. I haven't watched the video myself because what I saw was traumatic enough for me. The woman said she had never seen anything like it. The police came and I kept my kids in the house. I was just absolutely petrified. In the wake of the attack, she said she is fearful to walk to her local... Oh, that's what she's saying. Okay, it was hard to understand what she was saying. In the wake of the attack, she said she is fearful to walk to her local shop alone and is absolutely petrified to allow children to play in the streets. Yeah, well, no kidding. Yeah. It's been going on for a long time. Okay. Yeah, leave a comment in the sections there. Anybody watching, what do you think should be done about this? And I think they're still protesting. I hope they are. Don't stop. The horrific attack in Belfast last night is sickening, the Prime Minister said. Okay, we already know what he said there. The perpetrator living in the UK under 5-year visa needs to be convicted and deported on the first flight. Why wasn't that happening in the first place? Now, when did the attack happen? We know that. Okay, so I just wanted to hear what that resident said, the reaction to it. All the stuff we've already, the standard crap like this. This is so just nonsense. It goes, we call for calm and for space to allow justice to take its course, just like he did with George Floyd. All right, sure, whatever. Okay, so that's it for that. I think I covered that pretty much. Let's see. Then we go into the Metcalf thing. Let's go to that next. Was there anything else to add to this? Okay, so the Metcalf stabbing verdict. Let's go into that one. Texas. This happened June. Oh no, this was the verdict was recently. Texas, June 9, 2026. Karmelo Anthony, 19, convicted of murder and sentenced to 35 years for the April 2025 fatal stabbing of Austin Metcalf. So what does that mean? You probably are familiar with that story already. You've seen some of the reaction, which is some of the reactions is bizarre because most black people just agree that that was the right verdict. But I guess some of their blacks out there want to get the clickbaiting on bot farming on X, so they post these ridiculous reactions to to the verdict. Okay, so. Again, through the radical objectivist, algorist, and anarcho-capitalist lens, facts, objective reality. Hold on, I have to... Okay, so facts, objective reality. Jury found murderer based on evidence, witness, knife context, self-defense claim rejected. Of course, yeah, I knew that wasn't going to fly. It wasn't self-defense. Because Anthony escalated the thing. Yeah, he didn't have to escalate it. He de-escalated it. Individual agency. Anthony chose lethal escalation. That's what I just said. Philosophical lens. Murderer is initiated of force. Pure evil under objectivism. Race is irrelevant to moral culpability. Individualism rejects tribal tallies. Anarcho-capitalists, private schools, property owners could just set better rules. Enforcement. State monopoly. Justice is slow, of course. Politicized, but delivered a rational verdict here. Agorist. Consistent rules. Evidence over narrative applied. Sudden passion rejected properly. Now, the legacy media, of course, they like to focus on the racial angles. What a shock. School safety, jury demographics. No black jurors noted critically by some. Right. Covered trial proceedings. Evidence and verdict, highlighted emotions. What they get wrong, overemphasis on race, of course, pitting groups versus individual actions, character, potential narrative, bias, framing as a systematic rather than a discrete crime. Ignored or soft-pedaled similar black on white crime patterns, of course, where stats show disparities, FBI, UCR data on homicide offending. So you might want to check the FBI UCR data, and you see the black on white crime patterns. Political reactions, clashes outside court, outrage from Metcalf supporters, of course, claims of unfairness from Anthony's side, of course. Yeah, we know that already. The right, what people get right, demand for justice based on evidence, wrong here. Racial tribalism on both sides, collective guilt. Innocence by skin color, anti-objectivist, protests turning chaotic, violate rights if they go to protest. So let's see. What reactions in media got right and wrong overall? So we'll check that in a minute here. Let me give my summation of it, and then we'll check the four. We'll check the three. Yeah, we'll just check the three sources here: ABC News, Guardian coverage, and Trial live coverage reference. Oh dear. Okay, so right across sides, video evidence and eyewitness accounts cut through spin. Public pushback against elite denial of migration crimes, links. Yeah, grooming scandals, knife crimes, spikes in UK. Jury system produced a fact-based outcome in Metcalf. Okay, wrong. Legacy media often prioritize narrative, downplay migration patterns, apply far-right threat, racialized incidents over raw data and individualism. And the thing the left always like they like to manipulate the data too. Yeah, so that's the thing to watch out for. They're not necessarily science deniers. They just like to manipulate the data that's out there and skew it to their favor. Activists' reactions collectivize racism versus anti-racism instead of judging individuals by character action. But the thing is, I'm kind of wrong here. They are judging the individual by characters and actions. But Rand says, judge and be prepared to be judged. Okay, riots, looting, harm bystanders, ignoring root incentives, welfare state subsidies, like I said many times, dependency, criminality, state borders, selectors, distort markets. Yep. So yeah, I've made a couple of videos on that. If you want to solve the immigration problem, abolish the welfare states, welfare magnets, and the subsidies and dependencies. Okay, here are the patterns I've noticed here. Both cases involve young males and knives plus violence. Belfast highlights state-enabled outsider risk. Metcalf, intra-youth conflict. Objectivist stats, not causation alone, showed overrepresentation of violent crime for certain migrant subcultural groups, and addressed this via reason, not taboo. Yeah, and that's the thing they missed on that other report we were just watching, the BBC one, about the beheading in Belfast, was that they're focusing too much on Elon Musk and his business. I don't care about that. That's totally irrelevant. It's boring and had nothing to do with the Belfast beheading. Nothing to do with it. I don't know. That's just obfuscation. That's just distraction. We all know that. Just explain to me what the hell's that have to do with this beheading. I don't get it. So here I'm gonna, before I go into the sources here, I'm gonna preempt any criticism. Preempt criticism coming in now. Heartless, ignoring suffering. Well, Objectivism and AnCap prioritize rational ethics, protecting all individuals' rights, not sacrificial altruism. Ignoring patterns to spare feelings enables more victims, real suffering. Private charity, aid possible. Forced integration isn't. I've said that a million times. If you want to solve the immigration problem, again, for the 1,000th time, abolish the welfare state and make it by invite only. Kind of hop in, but make it invite. If you want the utopian immigration paradise here, well, guess what? You as an individual, you pay it out of your own pocket. You sacrifice your resources and your money for that person you want to invite or people you want to invite. This should not be forced through government mandates and taxes. It should be up to each individual, and they have to pay for it themselves. Check your bank account. Can you afford extra couple of migrants in your house and maybe work at your factory? Well, do that yourself. Pay for that yourself. We shouldn't depend on other people's money for that, because that's what taxes are. The other one, here's a criticism, and this is a typical criticism. Racism. Pure individualism rejects race as moral category. Data on group averages, e.g. crime, IQ, culture, is empirical reality. Acknowledging it for policy, vetting assimilation isn't hatred. Denying it for equity is anti-reason. Judge individuals, but don't import unvetted risks. Yeah, like I said, you want it. You want who was that prime minister in Japan? He wanted that glorious African village. Well, Prime Minister of Japan, you can pay for that yourself. You use your own money and your own resources to build your little African village or Samoan village in your little town. You do that, and those people in the town have to agree on it. You have to have their consent. You can't just implement this forced integration because you love it so much. Yeah, it's not up to you to decide that. I thought it was up to the people. We'll get into what's wrong with the Constitution there and what's wrong with the democracy later. How about utopian, no state. AnCap isn't no rules. It's polycentric law via reputation, insurance, arbitration. States demonstrably fail at monopoly protection, as in the case of the Ireland thing. Importing cost, selective enforcement. Transitional minarchism, strict borders, deportation aligns with objectivism. But the problem with strict borders and deportation, you have to initiate force. AnCap, anarcho-capitalists, believe non-aggression principle. So any force is force, and that's wrong. So, yeah, my way is probably best, and I'll get into that later. Okay, so the next criticism I'm going to address is whataboutism, ignoring native crime. Well, all initiators of force are culpable, all of them. Patterns matter for risk assessment policy. Native criminals face the same justice. Maybe. Okay, and here we go. Media bias cuts both ways. Yes. Alternative media sensationalizes. Legacy often sanitizes. Cross-reference primary sources, video, court records, plus stats for algorist truth. So in summary, both events here, the beheading in Belfast and the Metcalf case, both events underscore failures of statist altruism in migration justice. Rights violations demand objective accountability, private incentives, and rational borders, property control. Not emotion, group identity, or denial. Prioritize individual reason, self-defense, and voluntary order to minimize such barbarianism. Okay, so let me look at the verdict here. ABC News court verdict. Karmelo Anthony murder trial verdict reached Texas track. Let me see. Bye-bye, dude. See you later. Enjoy your prison. A teen. Notice how they say he's a teen. He's 19. He's an adult. He's not a 16-year-old. He's a 19-year-old adult. Was found guilty of the murder over fatal stabbings of another teen another teen. Who was that other guy? It was Metcalf. There's Metcalf's brother right there. Yeah, fatal stabbing. Anthony, 19, was indicted on first-degree murder in the fatal stabbing of a 17-year-old. See, yeah, he was Metcalf was 17. He's a high school student. But Karmelo Anthony there was an adult, 19. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf as a track meet in Fresco, Texas. Okay. Prosecutors called the stabbing senseless and plain and simple murder, yes. While the defense argued that Anthony acted in self-defense. Oh, here's the measuring the both coins nonsense that media always does. Okay, so following the announcement of the jury's sentencing decision, Metcalf's parents and his twin brother delivered emotional victim impact statements. That's an interesting way to call that. Emotional victim impact statements. I must have got the thesaurus on that one. What the hell? His twin brother delivered emotional statement. Why does it have to be emotional victim impact? You make it sound like it was some robotic thing that he just memorized out of some book somewhere. Just say the line, emotional victim impact statements. What a weird way to frame that. Anyway, oh, Jesus Christ. We will never know what our future could have been. Metcalf's mother said, according to, my eyes are bad, WFA. Okay, shut up. Okay, for journalist activists, this is the story. For journalist activists, this is the story. For our family, this is our reality. Okay, I see what they're saying there. Okay, so Metcalf here's father said his son's death destroyed the person he used to be. People think grief is sadness. It is not. It is rage. Pure, unfiltered rage. You can't do that, though, according to the constable there. Oh, yeah, with the beheading. Calm down now. We can't have rage. We need to come to our senses. Please remain calm. He said as he slammed his fist on a table. Yeah, well, of course he's pissed. Let's see. Let me see what else here. I want to see the reaction. The people said Metcalf, 11th grade, were stabbing during altercation under his school's tent. Altercation? The two got into an argument. We know the story over Anthony, a 7-year-old student. What? Jurors heard testimony. What? This was the witness said the two got into an argument? No, there wasn't talking about going into the tent. That this guy Anthony had his own tent that he was that he can go into, but Metcalf also had his own tent, and Metcalf goes, just go to your own tent or something. What does that have to do with the tent? Okay. Let me see what else we got in here. Get to meet defense attorney told jurors that Anthony had gone to the memorial tent to get out of the rain. No, that's not true at all. When Metcalf confronted Mel, that's wrong. When Metcalf confronted him and told him to leave. Well, he did tell him to leave, but Anthony escalated, acting in fear. What was he in fear of? See, they have no defense here. Acting in fear? What was Anthony acting in fear of? He just said, just please leave. But Anthony was who escalated. He decided to pull a knife instead of just leaving and going to his own tent, which Anthony had his own tent. Lineman. Okay, yeah, this sucks. After the stabbing, witness that Anthony jogged away from the tent, and the coach spoke to him on the. That's right. He put his hands on me. I stabbed him. We knew he was going to find guilty. Everybody's praying. Here goes census murder folded. Okay. All right. So what was the other one? Do we have other ones? Oh, The Guardian? Oh, no. Huh? The Guardian. Okay. Found guilty of murder. What's the reaction? Texas allowed man to be tried as an adult because he was 19 years old. When the verdict was read, Hunter leaned forward and while Anthony's mother wept. Okay. Here's something different and something that's very easy. What? Okay. Well, I don't know what the reaction is. I'm looking for a reaction. I don't find it. Sorry, can't find it. I have tons on Twitter, on X, I mean. But the Guardian article just sort of is just. Let me see about the tent. Continental did not have a tent that day, and when Anthony sought shelter under Memorial's tent, a confrontation occurred, resulting in a stab in Austin. Confrontation? What does that mean? Again, it's so vague. Who was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. So what does that confrontation mean? And yeah, okay, Anthony's legal team argued that he acted in self-defense. We know that's not true. He was confronted by members of the Memorial team. Defense said Anthony and his twin brother, who were about 6 foot, confronted Anthony. Yeah, he told him to leave because he was in the wrong tent. The defense claimed that Anthony reacted to fear and chaos. I don't know what the fear and chaos was. What was it? While the prosecutor said that Austin was stabbed in the neck. Sneak attack, yeah, that we have that. Sneak surprise attack. He escalated again. Okay. Prosecuting attorney threatened Austin, quoting a trial witness who said that the teen had told Austin, touch me and find out. Okay. You know that already. All right. Okay. Discussion. Oh, we already looked at that. That was from the other thing. Trial. Okay, this is the whole trial.
If you sit down, push, and only a little poop comes out.
Oh, why did I watch that? What a weird ad for this.
Can cause these.
Oh, this is the whole 10-hour thing. Okay. Nah. Well, there's the link there, right there, for it. Trial coverage. Yeah, and that's what it looks like on YouTube. There, live Anthony trial. Notice how they call it Karmelo Anthony trial. Okay. Is there anything else? Here's about the non-aggression principle. And we have some quotes. Ayn Rand writes, derived from reason and man's nature. Initiation forces evil. Good reads. He talks about search individual rights. Full lexicon on rights. You can go ahead and do that. Ayn Rand lexicon. You can go check that out. There's a link there. It'll be in the description. Non-aggression principle. And legacy media examples. Let me see here. Yeah, we already saw this. We read this already. We're just repeating ourselves. The rioters. Let's see. This is on Facebook. Oh, yeah. Let's take a look at that. Oh, I like how they label it anti-immigrant posters. No, they're protesting because it's anti-government policy. I don't know what these guys are fighting about. Guy putting out a fire. Are they still protesting out there? Does anybody know? Let me know because, yeah, they're pissed. These people are pissed. Yeah, okay. I don't like the way they frame it. Let's see. Anything else? ABC. We already looked at that. Facebook. Instagram. Israel Metcalf verdict reactions. No. Guilty. They're putting this. Oh, okay. We did see some of these people screaming about it, but that's just like less than 50%. Yeah, see, most blacks agree that the guy was the right decision. Very few, and the people that are pushing this kind of slop here is just doing bot engagement. So the heck with that. Okay. I think that's it. I covered everything I could think of. Was there anything else I want to add? I think that's about it. Let's see. We covered that. We talked about that. In closing. So just to remind everyone, again, one time to summarize before I leave today. We've done a long stream. Summary. So these cases screen for objective accountability, always, individual rights, and voluntary order over status, altruism, and denial. That is very true. That's a good summation there. Reason always wins. Protect life and liberty. Deport threats. See, that's the use of force. You're saying deport threats. But, I mean, I guess you could remove the threat. Would be another way to say it instead of deport. Reform incentives or abolish the welfare state. But anyway, I think that's it. So those are the things to take away here is voluntary order over status, altruism, and denial. That's the most important thing. Okay, so thanks for coming out today. I hope you enjoyed today's deep dive into these two cases. I didn't have anything else to add. There was lots of other footage and reactions on X, but I don't want to go through that because we've already done that. And then if you want to see the rage bait stuff, go right ahead. Yeah, it's clickbait too. A lot of that stuff's bot engagement they do on X to get attention. And see, they post a lot of stuff like that to see what sticks. Okay, so let me shoot on over here, and we'll. So that's it. Thanks for coming out, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow night for my deep dive into my videos that I did this week, what I got right, what I got wrong. And I think that the music is a little bit loud. Let's turn that down some. There we go. Okay. All right. Let me check my chat here. Anything in here? Nope. Yeah, so if you have anything else you'd like to add, of course, leave your comments below in the comment section, of course. And do you agree with my assessment here to Objectivism and AnCap? or do you have anything else you want to add to it? Or maybe I missed something. As always, leave the comments. And remember, make sure you address a specific point in the video, right? If you didn't understand something, or if you don't misrepresent what I said, try to read carefully before you post a comment. And when you do post a comment, it has to be specific to something in the video. If you just post the usual trash, like the slop, oh, this is just AI slop, or you're insane, schizophrenic, any offensive attacks, I'm not responding. I will respond to comments that have value. So that's it. All right. So peace out, everyone.